Hey everyone, we're back with another This Week in D1A Rugby and another week of interesting and sometimes surprising results. Let's get into it. After pulling off a big win against BYU, Arizona didn't make it any easier on themselves, going across the country to West Point to play Army. Army has quietly gone 9-1. They've had a couple of injuries, a couple of moving around with their players. They've been playing kind of a expansive game, I think, coming together, but they can also do the basics. And Arizona had already scored when we picked this up. And sorry for the video being a little bit choppy, but the forwards working close to the line, and Dakota Wagner caps this off with a nice try. So that gets that to be 7-5, Arizona leading. A good bit of open field vision here from Noah Sanchez, who's been really good this year. And Chance Loudenback gets the bounce and a nice dive also, give him sort of about 6.8 on that one. All right, so a little aside on this, and not to pick on any one team on this, have you noticed that since the new law came in about lineouts, that if it's not contested, then you don't have to worry about not straight? That even when a lineout is contested, sometimes the ones that used to be called not straight, that were just a little bit off here, a little bit off there, now they're being called fine. Have you noticed that? I don't know. I feel like I've noticed that. Anyway, you see one of those on this one. Nice drive by Arizona. And then Maddox King takes the flat pass. And was he held in the tackle? Doesn't it? Looks like he wasn't held. He gets back up. Very savvy move from King. Savvy try. And this is another really nicely taken try from Arizona. Superb work from Saxon Gerstle at fly half. And another not held as Antonio Gonzalez is taken down. He's not held in the tackle in the corner. Gets up, finishes. Very nicely done. That gets Arizona close. Not quite close enough. 24-19. Army takes that one. It's a good win for the Black Knights. Cal Poly and UCSB decide who's second in the California Conference, and this game was heavily Cal Poly. Close in Wine Restrom shamelessly goes for the good score on a dive, and I'd give that an 8.1. UCSB does get over the line, though. Nice 8-man pick from George Grant. Gets the Gauchos on the scoreboard. But this was the pick of the tries, I think, with Tyler Roberts, the lock, who had a couple of tries in this game, showing an excellent turn of pace, capping off a good movement out wide. Cal Poly should be, I think, in the D1A playoffs. I think UCSB is pretty much done. Won't look to the postseason. It would have been a Challenge Cup opportunity for them, I think. But they've been playing a lot and traveling quite a lot. Good year for UCSB. Quick one on Central Washington. Back and forth game with Trinity Western, the Canadian team, and it was close in the second half, 31-26, when Central kind of takes control here. They go to center, Sam Dwyer, very nice effort to go up the middle, and then they go to the maul. Campbell Robb, he's over. And notice where the try line is here, because they're marking it on, football markings, all that stuff like that. So they mark it on there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's tough to see for us. But I think that Central Washington players know where it is. And that try line plays a role in the next one, too. Hands out to wing Patrick Sale. He doesn't have a lot of space, but somehow he gets through a couple of tackles, does very well, cuts back, off he goes. He's just taken down. But he knows where the try line is, reaches over. That's a good try. That makes it 50-31. And yes, Trinity Western would score a couple more times. In fact, 3 more times late in the game. But Central does win it 57-48. This video is brought to you by Next Phase Rugby, which is an app that allows high school rugby players to connect with college rugby programs around the country. Those programs can be school-supported, club, all kinds of different ones. 450 are already on the app, and thousands of collegiate hopefuls are also on the app. Download the app if you're a college, or if you are a high school player looking for a college, go to nextphaserugby.com. There's a discount code for the premium level for high school players at the bottom of the screen. And good luck with your college search. It's also brought to you by USA Rugby Foundation, which is an organization that supports grassroots rugby around the country, and your donation can help build this great game of ours. Also brought to you by Irish Rugby Tours. Touring is a great way to expose your players to the global nature of rugby. Go to Irish Rugby Tours. They don't just do Ireland. They do all kinds of different countries. Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, South Africa, the UK. That's just a smattering of what they can do for you. Go to irishrugbytours.com. And this video is also brought to you by Panther Rugby Academy, providing elite playing and training opportunities for players throughout the South and a more extended version of the South, Panther Rugby Academy. Check them out. And I also want to thank a new kit provider, which is 8x8 Sports. You can't see their logo on this shirt, although you can see it on others, but there's the back of the same shirt because I have more than one. And several other great kit. We'll be having merchandise available very soon as well, so I'm excited about that. Thanks to 8x8 Sports. It's 8x8 sports.com. Certainly Central Washington will want to be looking at the defense. Last two games they've given up, 85 points. So, if you want to look for a work on the fact, you say, hey, we've scored 104 points last two games. Yeah, but you gave up 85. Perhaps your improvement level, percentage-wise, would probably be best taken on the defensive side. Life has been pretty clinical and brutal of late. Life is brutal. Life University is what I'm talking about. And when they play a team that they expect to beat, and in this case, Arkansas State this year, Life's playing really well. Arkansas State rebuilding a little bit. Yeah, they come and hit you very hard, very early, which I appreciate. So good run by Cade Cunningham. Elias Garza charges on, and then hooker Adam Chadwick. Static ruck to moving ball carrier. It's going to work almost every time. And great try. And then Bradley Crane pulling the strings, and off it goes to wing Jordan Vassell. And what I love about this is that Vassell is always looking for the pass, doesn't see it immediately, gets that offload. Excellent offload to Filani Similani, and he finishes it off. Just charge ahead with a lot of confidence, does Life. And you see Garza to Crane to prop Leon Best, USA age grader, and you see that athleticism from the tight head prop. He goes in 56-12 for Life University. They are looking very, very good. BYU welcomed Cal to Provo, and BYU opened the scoring. Actually, they led 7-0, and they doubled that lead. And then have a look at this. Winger Darian Tulikihi-Hifo sidestep down the sideline. Great finish. A lot of pace. 14-0 for BYU early. Took a while for Cal to find their feet, but they do answer. They keep BYU guessing behind the scrum here, and you sort of in your I formation, and then split out wide. Solomon Williams to Michael DeBeer. He breaks a tackle. He dives over. Good try for Cal. Cal has worked their way to the front now, but the Cougars hang tough. And 12 minutes into the second half, we've got it at 22-17 for the Bears. BYU tried to make something happen here. Little chip over the top, expertly picked up by Emmett Cook, Gonzaga High School grad, and he had a big game. 3 tries for Cal today, and this one really good. Totally changes the momentum of the game, really, in my opinion. And from there, Cal would go on to score another 3 tries and win 48-17. UCLA was annoyed in that Central Washington UCLA game. They were annoyed at giving up a lot of tries, a lot of points last week, and in fact losing that game. So here, defensively, they really impressed us this week against St. Mary's. They made some changes also on the attack. Interior backs, Vicente Aloué was moved from fly half to inside center. They brought Sasha Martini into fly half. That really worked, actually, because those players were responsible for 17 of UCLA's 22 points. The idea was to get Aloué a little bit more freedom to move around. He certainly does that. Great sidestep. Gets into the 22 and punishes St. Mary's early on. St. Mary's response, perfectly executed maul here. And really we're tied up. But in the end, amazingly, for a lot of people, we're quite surprised by this. UCLA shuts out St. Mary's in the second half. Good defense from both teams, really. You see a terrific try-saving tackle from Sia Ofa for St. Mary's, but UCLA comes right back after that, keeps the pressure on. Nico Cortez finishes this one off.
Sherman, I believe.
No, Cortez, yeah, great run, great setup by Cortez.
Strong cover defense actually killed a lot of St. Mary's efforts and forced them to knock the ball on, some turnovers, things like that. And then UCLA solidifies their lead, gets down to the line. They work it through. A ton of work from Jack Parketter here at lock, and Logan Turner and Will Sherman. Those guys just been putting in huge shifts all season long, and it gets to Martini, and he will score. It's going to end up 22-12. UCLA beats St. Mary's. A huge one when you're talking about playoff seedings, potential monkey wrench in the works there. So that's it. That's some wild stuff going on this week. We're going to see the latest D1A rankings, and then in about a month we're going to see the final rankings, which will be coming out in the form of seedings for the playoffs. So one of the things you got to remember is that there's a whole bunch of different things that come through into those seedings and into the rankings. Goff Rugby Report rankings are part of it, but a part of it. Coach votes are a part of it, but just a part of it. Then there's an algorithm that takes into account, obviously, wins and losses, but also strength of schedule. It's very important to get that in there as well. If you're 8-0, but you're 8-0 against teams that aren't super strong, well, that's a little bit different than being 5-3 when you're playing crazy good teams all the time. So that is kind of what we're going to be looking ahead to, because we are now starting to talk about playoffs, which will be all through April. This coming week, 4 games to watch. Army is at Cal, Central Washington at BYU, Navy is at St. Mary's, and then a little bit later in the week, Army takes a couple of days off and plays Cal Poly. So a great trip for the Black Knights on the West Coast. We'll have a little bit more on that. And we'll have a little bit more on D1A as we go through into the playoffs. Thanks for watching.